Hey, it's Birdman for Birdman on the Mountain, and here we are hanging out in the Birdman Media Studios. Time for another community shout. It's week 5 in this month. There's 5 Tuesdays in the month of May. So those of you watching on Show Low TV, welcome, and also on White Mountain Independent TV as well. Hey, this morning we're going to kick things off and talk about the outdoors, the wonderful outdoors. I've got with me Lynn Krigbon. How are you?
Hi, Birdman. I am just great. Thank you.
So
Glad
I don't know
here.
officially who you work for, or is it just that you give so much
I
to the
am
community?
totally a volunteer. I always have been a volunteer. My mother was a volunteer, and I live to volunteer.
That's actually phenomenal, and
Right.
kudos to you, because you certainly are out a lot more than some of the people that I get to see get paid. So you're going to come and talk today about a couple different things.
Right. I'd like to first talk about tracks. I am vice president of tracks and have been for I don't know how many years, but anyway, it's one of my favorite things. When we moved up here 21 years ago, our neighbor Jack Barker said, you know, there's a group up here that I think you should get involved with, and that's tracks. So the very next Saturday, we went to the tracks meeting, and it all has been wonderful from there. Tracks is a totally volunteer group, and TRACS stands for Trail System, Ride, and Cycle, and Cross-Country Ski, and Hike, and the Seasons. So you take out letters out of each one of those, and you get the capital letters, TRACKS. So we have the White Mountain Trail System that we hike, and I don't ride horses, but people do, and mountain bike, and in the winter I cross-country ski on our trails when we have enough snow.
And we certainly have a lot of things to do regardless of what the weather is, huh?
Correct. And even when the forest is in stage 2 or stage 3, which we really are worried about the fires now, we still have open places that we can hike. And one of those is Woodland Lake Park. I'm also a volunteer for and vice president of Save Our Park, which exists to help the town of Pinetop Lakeside acquire Woodland Lake Park, especially the 100 acres where the lake is. And
personally, I think it's kind of cool whenever you say 100 acres, because every single time I hear that, and there's a new movie coming out, Christopher Robin, but I hear 100 acres of woods.
Oh, right.
Which makes
outside.
me... Yeah,
Yep.
So no tie to Walt Disney, but...
So they
awesome.
almost never close Woodland Lake Park,
Very
even
good.
in really dire fire situations, because it's right in the middle of town. And who wants to have a fire in the middle of Pinetop? No, we certainly don't want to do that. So anyway, TRACS has a mission of taking care of the White Mountain Trail system. We are dedicated to using, promoting, preserving, and protecting multi-use trails throughout Pinetop Lakeside and the White Mountains area. We strive to support and assist the development and maintenance, that's what I really love, and the improvement of non-motorized trails, and to provide a resource for education, communication, and social interaction. So we are people. And
that's
designed,
the real social. That's the person-to-person stuff.
Yeah,
isn't it?
right.
Yeah.
Especially when you're hiking with somebody, you can really have a good bond and enjoy the outdoors together. So that's pretty much what TRACS is all about. We have a wonderful map that I take them around to the motels and the businesses and all over the area. And it's our White Mountain Trail system, and it is 200 miles of non-motorized, mostly loop trails with connector trails in between. At the moment, you can't hike the whole 200 miles in a connected version. Eventually, someday, we hope to do that, and we hope to have more urban trails. Right now, we're mostly in the Apache Sitgraves National Forest.
Yeah.
So we're dependent on the Forest Service. We work with the Forest Service very closely. Our tools that we build trails with are Forest Service tools called a McLeod. Most useful tool I have ever come across. So anyway, I love using it. And we work on the trails every Monday morning. Right now, we're starting at 7 o'clock in the morning. We usually work 2.5, maybe even 3 hours on Monday mornings, but rarely any more than that.
Very good.
And because we're all volunteers and we're all of an age, I guess I would say. So,
okay, now you have an event coming up, right?
Okay, this coming Saturday, the Walk for the Woods is the event that I would really like to tell you about. I mentioned Save Our Park exists to help the town acquire the 100 acres. That's the developed park around the lake. The original trail that went around the lake was built essentially by tracks and then made into a paved blacktop trail that's the only one in our whole trail system that is not just bare ground or cinders.
Right.
So this event, the Walk for the Woods, will start this coming Saturday at 7:30 in the morning at the Nature Center. The Nature Center is on Woodland Road, and it's right beside Big Springs, and it's also partly on leased land from the town by Mountain Meadow. So it's in a really good place to be able to use the trails that we have up here. The trails in Woodland Lake Park are maintained and kept in beautiful condition by tracks. And all of our trail system has what we call emergency responder diamonds. So if you walk around the paved trail around Woodland Lake, you know that it's 1 mile because there are signs every quarter of a mile. There is a white diamond, W1, W2, W3, and W4. So all through our 200 miles of White Mountain Trail system, these emergency responder diamonds have a code, and those are GPS locations. Probably you're not going to need help at Woodland Lake Park.
Right.
But it could happen. And so if you needed help to be able to call 911, you go to an area or you see what the area is that has the code where you've just come by, or, go to a tree that has the W whatever number, and then you call 911 and you say, I am at W2, and they will know exactly where you are.
Very good.
Or C45 or whatever.
You're never going to be more than 1/8 of a mile away from any
Exactly. So you're always close, and so if you need help, you can always get it. And if you become confused on any place in the 200 miles, find those diamonds and you can find out where you are.
Cool.
Our new map, which is really a handy thing too, was done the first time in the country with motorized and non-motorized working together.
Oh, wow.
Trax and WMI-TV, the motorized group up here, work together to make this map. And you can actually hike from that, or you can use your ATV. But the Walk for the Woods is going to be 5 different events. You have to choose which one you want to do.
Okay.
So at 7:30, you go and register on Woodland Road at the Nature Center. And at 8 o'clock, there will be 2 events leaving from the Nature Center. A 10-mile bike ride, which is almost all in Woodland Lake Park.
Very cool.
So using our tracks trails in Woodland Lake Park, they will ride around the loops that are there and get 10 miles. Also, starting at 8 o'clock, there will be a birding walk with an expert birder, and he will take you on the Nature Center trail that Trax built that has 18 new nest boxes.
Oh, wow.
And so you will learn about the birds that are in our area, and so that's the second event. The third event starts at 8:15. And that's a 5-mile hike. It's from the Nature Center over to Woodland Lake on Hitching Post and around the lake and then back on Turkey Track. So one big loop but that'll be 5 miles, and you'll end up back at the Nature Center at about 9:45. So not a big rush to do the 5 miles,
cool.
but it'll be, a good exercise. Then the next choice is at 8:30, there is a 5K, or actually 3.1 mile. This was our very first event when we did Save Our Park 11 years ago. We had the 5K walk to Save Our Park.
Nice.
And that was at Pine Top Lakes golf course.
Oh.
So then we moved from there because we had more things that we wanted to do. But it was beautiful when we had that venue. So the 3-mile walk goes to Walnut Canyon, which is a lovely place to walk in Woodland Lake Park, and then back to the Nature Center. And then finally at 8:30, did I get to? Anyway, the whole schedule is the less than 1 mile nature walk with a naturalist, a guided walk, and she has a bag full of stuff that she talks about as you walk and as you stop and see special things on the Nature Center Trail and also in Big Springs. So that's the event. They come back.
Plenty of stuff to do.
Oh, yeah, right.
Is there a cost at all for this?
Yes, there is. And now we're past the time that you can do
Get
it
the
for $25. So it's
okay,
so
we
it's
can get it.
$30. You can register online at WMNature.org. That's the Nature Center website. You can register for the walk, or you can register Saturday morning when you come at 7:30.
Very good.
And everything ends up back at the Nature Center, where a bouncy house will be set up. And I believe the radio station will be also coming. And we have door prizes, we have lunch, we have talking to the sponsors, and most of all, we have Fat Chance that's going to play from 10 until 12.
Nice.
So a great way to spend a morning in Pine Top this coming Saturday at the Walk for the Woods.
Awesome. Well, that's a whole lot of stuff there going
right.
on.
So
outdoors.
the two things that are benefiting from this great event are the Nature Center gets half of the money and Save Our Park gets half of the money.
Well, there you go.
So it's a really good win-win all around.
So win-win-win.
Yes,
yeah,
right.
you get to be outdoors and supporting two great organizations.
Exactly.
Very awesome. So we'll make sure we have those links for those websites up there so you can go if you want to go register in, or you can stop by and do that. Mm-hmm. Thank you very much for your time today. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Rob.
Once
Enjoyed
again,
it.
That's Lynn Krigbaum, and she's a volunteer, donating her time to make our community better. Okay, a couple years ago, got involved in an event, and going to talk about it right now with Allison Hepner. So we're the chairs of the Hanger Dance Committee.
Yes, we are.
But you do all the work.
Yeah, he tries to take some of the credit.
Anyway, so that's coming up again this year. We've been asked now multiple times, even though at the end of last year we said, hey, next year, August 4th, it's the Hanger Dance.
Yes, and it could not happen if it wasn't for everybody who's involved. We're very fortunate. It's getting to where it's that turnkey type deal, because this is a tribute to our veterans, and in the White Mountain area, Show Low, Pine Top, we're very patriotic. And we support our veterans. And so this is a way to give back to them and show them that we appreciate them. And it's awesome. It's at the Show Low Hangar. We bring in old planes. We encourage people to dress 1940s-ish. Yeah. Some people have come in the 1920s. Some people have come in the 1950s, which is fine. We have people taking voices there, taking pictures. We could not have this happen if it wasn't for Navajo County and the city of Show Low, who bring in the chairs. Blue Vase, who puts it all together. Robertson Carts, that allows us to get carts so we could take veterans that have a little harder time walking from their vehicle to the event. We have sponsors this year already. Jill Tinkle always comes in and sponsors. We have Bodyworks that's coming in and sponsoring. New Horizons Physical Therapy, and we're working with Livingston Mortuary to come in again, and the Morning Rose.
And the Morning Rose, yes.
Yeah, and it's a great event. And like I said, I don't do everything. I've been very fortunate I just organized this, but there's no way that this event wouldn't happen if it wasn't for the people who continue to be a part of making this happen.
Yeah. So, look forward to ticket price is going to be $35 per ticket. Again, it's not a fundraiser, so it basically is self-sustaining. That's, helps us to get the airplanes there, helps to get some of the vehicles there.
And Cattleman's comes in and caters it, and they do a great
deal
job
for us. So, yeah.
And the cake, Christie's Creations made cupcakes last year that just flew off the counter. So we're working
We'll be
with
getting
her team.
tickets in soon. Tickets will be available at probably both of the chambers, and we'll let you know as soon as the tickets are here. But just wanted to sort of give you the update on the Hanger Dance. Is there anything you need from people now?
Sponsorships. Help us keep this going and help us get the sponsorships we need. And if people want to be involved in the operations of it, I'd be completely happy if you brought that. And just know, a lot of people don't understand, you can bring kids to this. It's amazing. We get a big band in there with, what was it? How many? Quartet or whatever they call it.
Well, it was a 16-piece big band. So, yeah.
And then we have the Uptown Angels that come. I mean, it is an incredible operation. The VFW and Subvets helps with the bar. The VFW helps with the color guard, the POW, the invocation, everything. I mean, it's awesome.
It's a pretty cool event.
Very cool.
Make sure if you're interested in sponsorship, there's a Facebook page. It's and we'll link it down below. It's the Show Low Hanger Dance. It's pretty easy to
And we'll
see.
start putting things up on that.
Start putting stuff on there. If you have any questions, just shoot us a question there, and we'll get an answer for you.
Yeah.
So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, hanging out here still, and we've got a couple gentlemen here. I think they're characters. I don't know.
We're characters, all right.
We've got
Character one,
Dockendorf
character two.
and Jim. And it's burden, right?
Yes, sir, burden.
But you're no burden on people, right?
I've been a burden for all my life, and for the rest of my life, actually.
Very good. So you gentlemen aren't going to sing for me. I just
No, we're not. We don't do duos.
no duos. Okay.
Quartets.
You have to get Everett and I to do duels. He
We'll
likes
get the other two in here at some point in time. We got
Yeah, we will.
have a little quartet action. Tell me what we got going on.
Well, July 14th of this year,
Yay.
at Show Low Auditorium, District Auditorium, we're putting on a Western show this year. It's called Happy Trails to You. And the reason we have the two is we did a Western show called Happy Trails in 2005.
Right.
It was very popular, and the chorus had a great time with it, so we decided to do it again. But we've added some songs, so.
Very cool. Awesome. And this stuff is just killer. If you haven't heard Barbershop Quartet, you really got to do it because it's true music. I mean, you interact with each other harmonically and also verbally. So,
Well, the chorus has grown quite a bit over this past few years. We're up to, I think, at least 30, maybe more. It's going to be on stage.
very nice.
So it's going to be a great performance. I guarantee that. And we're going to have a campfire, too. But I can also guarantee there's no sparks going to come from
good. I was about to say, you can't have to talk about campfires right now.
But we have some really big news.
Oh, yeah?
I've been directing the chorus for 18 years, or 17 of the 18. And this year we have hired a new director.
Okay.
And it is Dr. Teresa Dick,
Yes.
who formerly directed the White Mountain Symphony Orchestra. She has great choirs, and she's fairly renowned, and she really brings a new element of musical education to the chorus. So
Very good.
And
we're
she's
very
really excited about that herself, too. I mean, she just overwhelms us with her excitement. But I need to make sure we know that she's not a doctor.
Okay.
She's a PhD.
Well, yeah, they actually have, yeah.
a doctor of music.
Or sociology or philosophy. But anyway, yeah, she's really great, and we're glad to have her. We really are.
Very good.
And I'm really glad to have her because I get to sing bass and have some fun.
So now you can just hang out and sing, right?
That's right.
Instead of having to be.
That's
you
it.
know, I mean, you do lead. It's funny. We were talking about people in charge and leadership. Leadership always exists, even at the lowest levels of any organization. And when I say low levels, I just mean as far as a hierarchy of an org chart. But being in charge, that's a completely different thing, isn't it?
It is.
He didn't step away or go away. He
Right.
just kind of stepped back. He'll always be in charge of
There
something.
you go.
He's the man.
I will direct a couple of songs on the show.
Oh, good.
So,
Awesome.
yeah.
What else anything else you need to tell people about? Cost, timing, all
Well,
that kind of stuff?
it's $10 in advance and $12 at the door.
Okay.
And you can get tickets in any Chamber of Commerce or from any member of the High Country Chorus.
And Chamber means also the one in Snowflake.
Oh, also the one in Snowflake.
Yes.
Cool. Okay.
And the members, like Doc said, have tickets. I have tickets. He has tickets. Most of us have tickets we carry around with us. So
Yeah, and so there's two performances, and you never know
Right.
which one's going to go which way.
There's
so.
one at 2 o'clock and there's one at 7 o'clock.
Very good.
And we have 2 quartets on the show, guest quartets, besides our own chapter quartets. The first one is Second Wind, and they're a young, very young quartet from the Rocky Mountain District, although 3 of them live in Phoenix. They represent the Rocky Mountain District, and they were silver medalists at the Rocky Mountain District Convention, and they really sing well. And they're going to international. They'll be competing a week before our show at the International Convention in Orlando, Florida.
Nice.
So we will know where they placed the day of the show, but we won't know to get to advertise it. So.
Well, Doc, what about the female quartet?
Yeah, and we have a female quartet, a Sweet Adeline Quartet,
Nice.
from Phoenix, called One Voice, and they are former champions from their district, and everyone's going to enjoy them. You know,
Very good.
Nothing like good-looking ladies.
Yes.
And,
Us guys kind of mess it all up.
You never get too young. I mean, too old for looking
Yeah.
at good-looking ladies there. Yadel.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Anything else you want to make sure you mention?
Yeah.
Also, in addition to those quartets from outside, we have 3 chapter quartets that are singing. Ponderosa Pines, the Spectrum Quartet, and our quartet, the Pine Trails.
There you go.
And so,
we came up with that name because pine seems to be in everything. Pine tones, you know.
Yep.
So we're trailing.
There you go.
So we become Pine Trails. Something like that.
yeah, well, okay.
Doc,
That's our story, and we'll stick it
Yeah,
to it.
that's
Stick
right.
with it.
Well, we have some awards going to be presented, but we're not going to tell you to whom they are going to be presented
Yeah,
to.
we will give our annual Harmony Award to a deserving person.
Very good.
In the past, we've given it to Scott Gentry and Cynthia Jellison and Joanne Mills and Teresa Dick, and so
Very good.
on and on.
I think
Cynthia.
we've kind of recognized everybody that's on the mountain.
Well, there you go.
So
That's good.
But people need to be recognized.
A lot of
so.
people that do a lot up here.
That's
so
right.
That's for sure.
Well, we don't want to forget Steve Taylor. If you don't mind, you do that, Doc.
Absolutely. In 2005, we had a show, and Steve Taylor did a painting for our cover and for our advertising.
Yeah.
So this year we're singing Riders in the Sky.
Nice.
And I talked to him and I said, Steve, if artists are always looking for a subject, so how about doing a Riders in the Sky painting for us? And Steve said, great, let me try it. And he did it. And as you'll see on our flyer,
That's on your flyer there.
Our
so,
flyer,
yeah, make
there's
sure you
the-
take a look at that.
there's the mighty herd in the sky, and you can see the cowboys chasing them
That's
endlessly. So
Very good.
if people know the song, we'll know what that story is.
Steve does great. Awesome. Anything else, gentlemen?
That's about it.
Very
July
good.
14th.
July 14th, 2 shows. Make sure you check it out. And that's Happy Trails 2.
Right. You.
Now, there is one more thing.
One more thing.
Doc
One more
usually covers everything, but let's make sure that people know where our website is and
Okay.
what it is.
Yeah.
It's www.wmhcbc.com.
Okay,
And
cool.
all the information you want to know about our show right now
down there.
is there.
Okay. So
So-
make sure we'll put that link down below, too, so you can
That would
find
be great.
it.
Thank
Good,
you.
yes.
Click on it and go. And thank you very much, gentlemen. I appreciate that.
We appreciate you having us.
And happy trails to you.
Absolutely, Doc, Jim, and we got more people. Okay, and next I've got with Navajo County Public Health Services District, Allison Hepner. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Good. So we're going to talk about children with special health care needs, correct?
Yes. So I oversee the Children with Special Healthcare Needs program, which is basically what we do is we try to connect parents and agencies together currently right now and to bring awareness to our community that we have a very large population that have children that have special healthcare needs. And special healthcare needs is anything above what a general child needs. So glasses, hearing aids, speech therapy, epilepsy, cerebral palsy, autism. It just goes on and on and on. And so I've been very fortunate that we get to focus on our population up here. And one of the things that we're bringing for the first time ever, and hopefully it happens every year, is the first annual, just kidding. First resource fair, children with special healthcare needs resource fair called Special Kids with Special Needs. And what we're doing is we have over 17 different vendors that provide services, information, or education to parents and families that have a child with special healthcare needs that are going to be there. We have several different workshops that are coming in. We have a speaker that's coming in talking about brain function. Her name is Susan Wolf, and she's amazing. So she's our keynote. We also have a woman coming in talking about the brain and gut connection, which is huge. And in functional medicine, they're finding out that it really, by learning how to feed your child healthier, they're finding some differences in children with autism. Some things are they're able to do more eye contact, and instead of just the Cheetos and the chicken nuggets, which is a lot of kids like. Yeah. It's phenomenal. So in our rural community, we do have the resources out there. It's just hard to find it. And any parent who has a child with special health care needs becomes that advocate to that child and has to do all the research themselves and fighting for that kid themselves. So what we're trying to do through this this soon-to-be annual event is bring everything together so it's at one spot, and the parents can come in and they can put a face to those resources, find out for some more information, do some trainings that we're going to be providing. We're also going to have a panel where it's a Q&A with with disability lawyers, with different agencies like DDD and DES on how to get services and ask their questions. And then what we want to see from parents is we want them to come to this and then tell us how we can make it better next year. We're also looking for people to sponsor the event, and we're also looking for agencies, organizations, nonprofit, anybody out there that provides a service in our community to children that have a special healthcare needs. Please get with me. The booths are free. We're not charging for these agencies to come in and do this. We want you there so that the parents can meet you and see the services in their community.
Okay. The location?
It is going to be at Our Lady of the Snow in Snowflake, their event center, on July 28th from 8 to 5 p.m. We have prizes. We have swag bags. We're going to feed you lunch. It's going to be an awesome event. And then in the event you have a child that needs to have some kind of care, we do have scholarships available, small scholarship available, but it's better than nothing that you can apply for.
Very good. Thank you very much. Anything else you need to add to that?
No, I'm just very excited. Spread the word.
Very good. Cool. Hang out. We'll be right back. Back in the studio, we're hanging out, and I've got another gentleman that's joined us. It's Mr. Ralph Engler. How are you, sir?
I'm good.
So you're from an organization called NAMI, and I've heard it said NAMI multiple times, but I didn't know what it was until just a few moments ago when you told me. So it is.
That's not an unusual situation.
Right.
I walk around with this badge on from one of the national conventions, and it's got NAMI in verified print. And
Yep.
I usually have to ask, do you know what NAMI is? So NAMI stands for National Alliance on Mental Illness. Rob.
Okay.
And it's a national organization that started back in the 70s around a kitchen table somewhere in Middle America. And now it's pretty well covered the United States. All 50 states have chapters, and we here in Arizona have 9 chapters, 10 chapters, and we intend to become the 11th chapter, fill out the northeast corner of the state, Navajo and Apache County eventually. Right now we're focused on the center of Navajo County, north and south between the reservations.
Okay. And what does NAMI do as an organization?
Well, there's basically 3 parts to NAMI's mission statement, if you will. We do awareness in the community, and that's mostly things like we host tables at various events, and we've got a table coming up here on June 9th for Summit at their big tent. Their health fair tent that they hold every year. And we go out and we speak to groups, Lions groups, Rotary groups, churches, police departments, wherever we can get a forum. We're basically spreading the word about mental illness as being just another form of medical illness. We concentrate in our country on physical health to a great extent, and mental health has kind of been left behind. Laws were passed back in 2005 for parity, but it's just become a real issue, I think, in the last year that the federal government is beginning to recognize that we could cut down on the cost of doing everything if we properly address the issue of mental illness.
And I think, the bigger thing, and we've talked about this on this show with various different organizations that cover mental health issues, is first of all addressing the fact that it's the same as physical health.
Exactly.
It's easy to see when somebody breaks an arm.
Exactly.
You can see the cast.
Exactly.
Very hard to see when they're hurt internally.
Exactly.
And then there's the stigmatism. Nobody goes,
Oh,
ooh,
gosh,
you
yes.
broke an arm. I don't want to be
Yes.
around you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's essentially the first part of the mission is, to create awareness and make it comfortable for people to talk about this whole issue in America. And the second part is education, and we're working on that. We have 3 programs operational here on the mountain. And if we looked at the chart that NAMI National provides, they've got about 5 educational programs and 3 presentations and a couple of support groups. So we're beginning, but we have plans to bring more of these online here in the mountain, both presentations and support groups. So education is a big mission of NAMI nationwide. And the third part of their mission is advocacy, and that's basically getting the attention of government at the local, state, national level. At the national level, NAMI has corporate offices, if you will, in Washington, D.C., close to the center of all that power. Mm-hmm. And we have a lobbyist. I've met him already. He's been in Arizona speaking to the yearly conference that NAMI Arizona puts on every year.
Right. So funding, where do you guys get your funding from primarily?
Funding comes primarily down through the SAMHSA, Substance Abuse and Mental Health Services Administration, for the actual services for mental health in the community. So, for example, here on the mountain in Navajo County, we have Change Point. If you're over in Apache County, it's Little Colorado Behavioral Health. Mm-hmm. They both get their funding coming down through SAMHSA into what's called our REBA here for the northern 6 counties, Health Choices Integrated Care. And so that money flows down from the government for the actual services, whether that's a therapist or whether that's a psychiatrist who's prescribing pills. That's where the money comes for services. Our money is a little bit different. NAMI is basically a volunteer organization, and it exists on donations. So we are operating right now here on the mountain out of 2 sources of funding. One is our pocketbooks for the 12 of us that are members right now on the mountain, and we're always trying to increase our membership. And the other source is we did get a small grant through HCIC, actually the NARBA Foundation. That was a spinoff from the previous REBA association in the North Country. So we did get a small grant. We're very cautious about spending that money. We spent about $1,000 at the beginning of March to train some more people as family support group leaders in Holbrook.
Very good. Awesome. And events that you've got going on. So obviously the events is your big push then and things like that.
Yeah. And any place that we can reach the community and hand out some literature, things like that. So the next thing that's coming up is a Lunch and Learn event at Sal and Teresa's on May 6th, 11:30. We're going to start. We did one a little earlier in the year.
May 6th or June 6th?
I'm sorry. June
I want to make sure.
June 6th.
Because
June 6th.
People watch the show and be like, I don't know.
Thank you
did
for
it
the
already
correction.
happen?
Yeah. I'm still in May, I guess.
No
in my
problem.
Mind. Yeah, so that'll be June 6th at Sal and Teresa's. And, we got 25 spots and we're asking for people to RSVP so we don't overflow the place.
There you go.
We got about 10 people signed up right at this point in time. So there's still room to come and learn a little bit about what we're doing, have lunch at Sal and Teresa's.
And cost for that is?
We're doing it as a no host. So you order what you want.
There you go.
Okay.
Awesome.
And I did mention before that we're going to host a table over at the summit. So I was there last year with my little badge on, which I kept from National Convention when I attended a few years ago. And so we'll host a formal table this year. We've made arrangements to do that. And we'll be passing out literature, talking to people, gathering emails, and et cetera.
And any place to contact you guys, or do you have a website? Or
Yes, we do. The website is NAMI, WMAZ.org.
there we go.
We had to go for AZ on the back of it because somebody else got in before us with WM.
It happens.
And of course, there is the White Mountains of eastern United States up there in New Hampshire someplace. And we didn't want to be confused with those folks up there.
No,
so
not at
we're
all.
WMAZ.org.
Awesome. Very good. Ralph Engler, once again with NAMI. Appreciate your time here. Hang
Thank
out.
you.
And anything else that you got?
Yeah, we have a class coming up for providers. This is a 3-part class. It starts on June 15th. So that's a Friday. It's going to run from 9 to 1. It'll be followed. The next Friday is June 22nd, and then the third class will be on June 29th. And this is teaching basics for providers. Basics is one of the signature NAMI programs for family members of children 17 or less. So this is going to be provided to people from our community, like Change Point people, Summit people, etc., who are dealing with children 17 or less, perhaps in a physical sense, but can become aware of the fact that there are some issues that may present themselves in those interactions with the parents and with the children that might indicate a need for mental health services. So we're hoping to have providers show up for these three days, and it's being taught by 2 of our members who have been trained in the basics program to do it for family members as well as the providers. So this is providers. We're trying to get the word out through the provider community.
Okay. Thank you once again, Ralph Engler with NAMI. Make sure you check out their website and see all you can do to help maybe yourself or at least be aware. Here we are back, and now joining me, we're going to cover what's going on this weekend.
Sleeping. I'm sleeping all weekend long.
Me too, yeah.
No, that's not
There's
it.
like 100 things going on.
There is. There really is.
But on Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and it's like almost all day, Saturday and Sunday.
Yeah.
Definitely Saturday night you want to be there.
Oh, yeah.
And, but Friday night as well.
Show Low days.
Show Low days.
And
and Derby Down
Derby
the
Down
Deuce.
the Deuce.
So,
Yeah.
you know, it's this has been up here for a while now. We've been talking about that.
Right.
We've been promoting it.
Good.
We're down to the NASCAR event, down to the IRL event. You want to move that? Was it bothering you?
No,
Yeah?
just-
You got to stay on the mic, though.
Yeah, I'm on it.
So, you want to run us down to what happens? Let's start
So,
Thursday.
should we
Thursday
go-
setup. Go.
So Thursday setup's fun because it takes 2 full days to set up the entire Show Low days. It takes me about 2.5, 3 hours to empty that field, but it takes.
no, they
2
unload
full-
in like a half an hour.
Oh yeah, but it takes 2 days to. So Thursday setup, we paint the field, we get it laid out. Vendors start showing up Thursday afternoon. Then again, we come back in Friday morning. Beer and wine shows up. That seems to be the highlight of the morning. Whee! Most of the vendors show up by the middle of the day. By 11, we close the gates and have the last 2 hours close the gates, and so no one comes in or out except for vendors on foot. And then by the last couple hours of setup, and then by 1 o'clock, Show Low Days is open.
Yeah, we made one rule adjustment. I want to point out.
Which one?
Well, the one rule was about generators.
Oh, we did.
So if you were there last year and you're a little annoyed by noise,
There
we
was
took care of
one
that issue.
generator in particular, and every now and then there's never been a problem, but
Right.
one just happened to be in the wrong place, and it was the
Wow.
wrong kind of generator, and it was loud, and yeah. So
Yeah.
if you're in a food court, you either have no electricity or you have my electricity,
Which is up and away from
which
the
is up
field.
and
Yeah,
away.
so-
Yeah. So that solves our noise problem and our fume problem too. It was a pain in the butt.
Yep. But
But,
anyways, so just wanted to point that out. Got some bands lined up. And
We do.
I'm particularly excited about Saturday night.
Yeah,
but-
analog us. So but Friday we've got Thunder Horse is going to be there. Planting Seeds is going to be there. We have a one-man band coming in. Reed, Tommy Reed's coming in
Very cool.
on Friday. That'll be good. Analog Outlaws, one you know. Blue Tattoos on Saturday earlier, and then Analog Outlaws is closing us up
Very
on
good.
Saturday night. You helped us get that, and we're excited about having those guys come up from the Valley. Young teen band.
Yep.
And boy, they're hitting it.
So we had them last year at the Lions Den, the
Did you?
summer concert series. They're not going to be at the summer concert series this year. So this is your chance to see,
Yeah.
because everybody's going, hey, they come back. It's like, well, actually, they're not. tour schedules
Now
and
they
stuff
just
like
cut
that.
an album, yeah.
And yeah, they're you're gonna know
kicking
this
it.
band in the future. Trust
Yeah.
me, they're killer kids. They just
So we're
rock it.
excited about having, and then of course throughout the entire day is full back to back
Yeah.
of local entertainment, bands that are up and coming. They want to get the stage, all kinds of different. We got a band from the high school this year coming out. That'll be fun with them, and so yeah.
But
throughout the day.
it's nonstop entertainment.
It
and,
is.
and let's just highlight it instead of giving a blow by blow, minute by minute.
Yeah.
You're going to be able to pick up a guide. It's out in the newspaper. You'll be able to get that. You can
program
pick
when you come through the gate.
the program come through the gate. It's $1 to get in.
Oh, yeah, baby.
Just $1. Okay, that helps the community because it helps the Chamber of Commerce.
Yep.
And it also gives us an easy way to count how many people came through.
Right.
It's easy math that way.
easy.
But there's a new upper area. We've got a great big huge area that's showcasing all of the community members and the businesses that are part of the Show Low Chamber of Commerce.
Yeah.
We've got that kid zone is moved up top.
So that's a big change for this year.
Huge.
We've outgrown that lower fields several years back, and we've really kind of crammed ourselves into it. And this year we decided to take that kid zone off of. Kid zone used to be this big, and now we moved it to the upper field, and now it's this big. So probably 3 times the size of the kid zone that you've seen in the past. We'll have it up there, and then that's where the business expo will be, also up on the upper field. So we're filling up now 2 full fields or baseball fields in the park. So
Yeah, so it's going to be a blast.
It'll be a blast.
A lot of events. There's the dog races,
Wiener dog race.
wiener dog races,
Saturday
contests
afternoon.
as well.
Yeah, they've got like a look-alike contest. I don't know how you do that with a wiener dog.
Oh no, it's not just wiener
Oh,
dogs.
it's all
man.
dogs,
That's
yeah.
all dogs is look-alike.
Look-alike
yeah.
contest.
So,
They dress-up contest.
dress up contest, a sleep contest, or a
contest.
lay still contest. Or
I'm not
No
sure.
drugging. I already said we're going to be testing. There's going to be drug testing.
Test your
we know when you
dog.
give them that pink little Benadryl pill. Yes.
Can't do that.
No.
Tug of War. Don't forget the Tug of War. Friday
yeah.
night, Show Low PD and Timber Mesa Fire battle it out. Tug of War.
Yep.
That's always a fun thing to come and cheer on your emergency response team. And so that.
No dogs in the field. Just a
No.
reminder. That's a city of Show Low ordinance. So no smoking because we're in stage 3 fire restrictions. So just be aware of that.
Yeah, don't smoke anywhere on the hill at all.
Yep. Yeah.
Period.
It's either inside your car or inside your home because you can't do it in hotels either. So
Oh, really? I didn't
yeah,
know
there's
that
no
one.
smoking hotels. So yeah, good luck with that. Yeah, it kind of yeah.
So quit smoking.
Well,
There's a
yeah,
no,
that's a
just
tough thing
teasing.
to do.
I'm
But
teasing. I know.
the county has a program. They do.
You know, right? Your wife's
Right.
part of that.
So the Derby down in Deuce.
The Derby. So the
is-
Derby starts, really, the kickoff is Friday night.
Right.
You were asking me earlier how many cars. Sometimes we don't even know how many cars because these competitive guys will hide their cars back in secret until Friday night is where 5 to 7 we do the weigh-in and check burger burn. But we safety check every car. So between 5 and 7, that's when they all show up to get weighed in and locked. So
And that's sort of the official kickoff to Show
Yeah.
Low Days because we don't really do an official ceremony down on the field. We just kick it off with the weigh-in.
Yep.
And the contest. Now on Saturday we were hoping to do a new thing with TV. Mel West is
Is it gonna
back.
work or what?
No, Mel West has had some
He got
back
hurt,
He got
yeah.
back injury, so we really condolences out to him. But because him and his staff aren't going to be able to be there, we won't do that.
So if you got a camera crew,
Yeah, sure. Come on
Talk
down
to
and cover us. We've got the commentators. We'll be there.
It's easy.
Me and Bosley will be there giving the play-by-play. Definitely have fun with
or
that.
me, have you heard that yet?
Oh, no, I didn't hear that.
Or me.
Or you, huh?
So we have a brand new. Here's what's exciting too about the Derby. We've got a brand new app that you can put on your phone. Download this app called R2 Racing, and everybody will be able to see the times, the places for every car. You'll know which car is coming up next. You'll know when your car is racing. You'll know what their time was when they raced. All that'll go on the app, but the app is going to sit by side and work with the timing system. And so those two hand in hand. Bosley might be running one of them. So he said, if I'm running it, you got to take my place, which means I'm up with you on the commentator
Oh,
booth.
there we go.
Maybe.
This will be fun.
Yeah,
Or maybe we'll get another co-host. I don't know. We'll find out.
right on.
Very cool. Anything else you want to mention or highlight?
Big Derby, man. This year is going to be the time to come out. I mean, $5,000. You guys have heard it before. $5,000 first place for the fastest car. Unprecedented. You're not going to see it again. We will not do this next year. But you'll see cars come out of the woodwork, and you'll see a lot of competitors and a lot of racing. So it'll be a fun Derby. We're excited about it.
Very cool.
So
Awesome.
come see it.
Jimmy Applegate with the Show Low Chamber of Commerce. Hey, it's time for another Navajo County Public Health Services update. And with me again is Allison Hepner. How are you?
Very good. How are you?
Good. So today we're talking about animal control, all those fun little animals that run around and get into people's business, right?
Yeah, dogs and cats. Navajo County Animal Control is a very compassionate, timely, and efficient response to domestic animals in the unincorporated Navajo County areas. So just so you know, like the city of Show Low has their own animal control, Pine Top Lakeside PD has their own, but we are the unincorporated areas of Navajo County. And what our animal control does is of enforcement. So they enforce state and local laws when it comes to domestic animals, related to controlling the animals and the humane treatment of animals as well. So they also provide education about the population and how important it is to spay and neuter your animals. We don't want to be overrun. Licensing, which is very easy to do. Licensing is you go into your veterinarian clinic, and they give the vaccine, and then they give you a license, and your license is good as long as the time of your vaccine. Am I saying that correctly? So if you go into the veterinary clinic and they give your dog a shot of the rabies vaccine, then your license is as long as that shot is still good.
It's still good, still viable.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So if the shot lasts 5 years, then your license lasts 5 years.
Okay.
So then they also do impounding, and that is just a dog at large or stray animals, and they'll impound, and you can contact, Navajo County Animal Control and see if your dog's in there.
Now, having lived in Maricopa County, I know they don't do cats, and you actually do cats up here.
Well, yes, cat bites. I don't think that they
Go and capture the cats, though.
don't think they go
Okay.
and capture.
Okay.
Cats are a little harder to catch.
Thus the phrase herding cats. Yeah.
Yes. But they also investigate animal bites, and that includes dogs and cats. And they investigate abuse and cruelty to animals, nuisances, and vicious, dangerous animals, which can lead us into mandatory quarantines.
Right.
So just so you know, the local and state laws it require a 10-day mandatory quarantine of an animal that has bit someone.
Okay.
And that is just to see if that animal is exhibiting any rabies.
Okay.
Because we live in a rural area, rabies happens here because of the wild animals. And you could usually find that you'll find rabies in bats, skunks, and foxes. And we know that skunks get out and spray our dogs. We're familiar with that, and we've seen bats around. So the only way to get this, though, the main source of it is through a bite of an infected animal or coming into contact with that animal's saliva. And what this does is this severely damages the nervous system and can lead to death. Luckily, this is not common in humans, but however, if it does happen, you come in contact with an animal like that, you do need to seek a medical attention immediately. Now, if your animal comes in contact, is bit by a rabid animal, you need to go to a veterinarian clinic immediately and get that taken care of, and make sure. That's why vaccines are so important when it comes to rabies, especially because we live in a rural area.
Yeah.
There's also some things you can do to make sure that your animal does not get bit, and you as well. So, for instance, stay away from wild animals. That's pretty simple. Be careful and be observant when you're hiking, hunting, or camping in our areas. Leash your pets, and if kind of way that you can, like a dog run, and keep the other animals away. Vaccinate again against rabies. It's very important. Vaccination is very important. That's why it's linked with the licensing. Don't touch, feed, or pick up wild animals. If you have, say you come out of your house and there's a bunch of raccoons and you find a group of raccoons, call Game and Fish. They'll come out and they'll take care of that situation for you.
And that's an important thing to know, is you don't call animal control about wild animals.
Yes.
You call Game and Fish.
Absolutely. Now, if that wild animal bites your dog or your cat, then you call animal control. So if you're seeing a wild animal exhibit some behaviors that are erratic or aggressive, definitely call animal control or Arizona Game and Fish. If it's a domestic animal, animal control. If it's a wild animal, Arizona Game and Fish. And that's really it with our animal control.
How does someone contact animal control if they need to?
I did bring their number. It's 928-524-4266. You can also contact dispatch through, if you, obviously not 911, but call them through their private number, and I don't know what that is. That's something
Yeah,
that you
those
can
are all
find on-
available. You can find those regular police, local community telephone number.
Yeah, and they'll dispatch them out. I mean, our animal control is 24/7.
Very good. Awesome. Once again, Allison Hepner with Navajo County Public Health Services District, and this has been about animal control. Hey, that's going to be it for this week's Community Shout. I'm Birdman here at the Birdman Media Studios, reminding you can see this always on Show Low TV and then also White Mountain Independent Television, of course, on the Facebook pages for Birdman Media and White Mountain Independent Television as well. As I always say, if I don't see you around town, I'll catch you right here on the web.